Hi, I'm Rick Sentz, the Economic Development and Tourism Specialist for Calumet County. And with me today is Mike Schlaak, who is the Treasurer for Calumet County. At one point, Mike was a former course assistant pro, and he is a golfing aficionado. And he has been kind enough to join me today to talk about the golf courses of Calumet County. So, Mike, thanks for that. And I just would like to start off, if we could talk about maybe start with Bronze Deer Run Golf Course.
Family built by the Reinke family 50 years ago, roughly. It was probably on the outskirts of Brillion at that time. Residential development has kind of moved out that direction. It has some challenging holes. It's short, tree-lined fairways, not too long in distance, but very precision is required to play the golf course. But very, very fun golf course to play, regardless of skill and ability. Affordability is, I think, important to everyone. And certainly the atmosphere. It has a restaurant, dining area, bar, with great food, great people, great atmosphere. So, it's a little bit different than the other two, being a 9-hole facility, but that doesn't take away from the uniqueness of the design with the small tree-lined fairways and requirements based more on precision than be able to hit the ball 300 yards.
So if I have a slice, it's going to be a very challenging course.
Well, you won't lose too many golf balls, I don't think, but yeah, you'll have your challenges because your ball will either be caught up in the trees or there's not too many adjacent fairways, but you might have some challenges if you can't hit it straight.
Okay. Moving on to Hickory Hills Country Club, located in Chilton. Okay. That's an 18-hole course. What insights do you have on that one?
That is, again, I think all of them are family built and owned by the Nellison family. I think roughly in the mid to late 60s, they're all different, not overly long either, but always, Joe's been there for all 50 in his family, kids, grandkids that still own and operate and do all the maintenance to it. A shorter golf course by today's standards as well, but it spreads out throughout, more of a rural area. You're surrounded by, farm fields and a little bit of residential property out there. Each hole's a little bit different and unique. It's obviously named what it is because of the hickory trees and things of that nature, but Joe does a great job keeping the facility up and maintained, is very involved in the community, helps anyone out with regard to anything that they need on and off the golf course. There's some fun golf holes out there. There's some rolling hills that run through it. Not huge hills, but makes the golf course more challenging, and they keep making improvements and changes to it to allow for that to do that. So there's a lot of golf holes out there that are risk-reward, par 5s that 8 to 10 handicap or less can reach into, some short par 4s that if a guy can hit the ball pretty far, he can drive the green, but then also, there's waters and hazards and trees around that facility as well. So it makes it, again, challenging for everyone.
And then the last one, High Cliff Golf and Event Center.
Well, that one I know the most about because I spent roughly 10 years of my life working there. So also built by a local family, the Schneider family. It's changed a number of times in its design over the years. I think there was a change. The original layout, was back in the 80s. There's been some recent changes in the last 5 years as well, but different than the rest. I mean, you never see, I think there's 2 fairways that run side by side. Otherwise, it runs along the Niagara Escarpment, which is very beautiful and has a lot of aesthetic nature to it. You'll see fox, deer, turkeys, all sorts of the nature things on the golf course. The 6th hole is the one that's the most picturesque. It has the hugest, I don't even know what kind of tree it is, but right in the middle of the fairway. And there's other holes as well. The 7th hole hits over a pond and overlooks Lake Winnebago a little bit, especially in spring and fall when there's not leaves on the trees. The back 9 runs through what now is mostly residential, but again, you don't have a hole that runs side by side. So it's a little bit, I wouldn't say it's longer by today's standards, but there's some longer holes than shorter ones. There's still some short ones that are risk-reward, but it's the same thing with all the other ones. I mean, in addition to having a good golf facility, they have great food at each of the restaurants, friendly atmosphere with the bars and restaurants that go along with them, and it's just really cool to have 3 family-built public golf courses within our county.